I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Meeting will please come to order. We do have proof of posting in accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code as amended, known as the Texas Open Meetings Act. Any members of the public who wish to speak shall each have 5 minutes. Let's wait till we get to budget in a few minutes, if that's all right. It'll be, no, you can go ahead if you need to. Go ahead now, and you can go down to the library.
Thank you. We have a big program starting.
Yes.
Thank you for that. And so, I'm Gary Wiggins, Library Director, and Honorable Judge and Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to come in, and thank you for the support that you've given us. We really, on behalf of the library board, and I want to say thank you. We really appreciate your support, and we want to encourage you to continue to support the library because we have a valuable service here in this community. The packet that I've provided, just sit there, Joe, will show, it compares the last 6 months and, the last 12 months, and it also compares this summer statistics. And we had a big summer. We had probably our second biggest summer, so we really we had a great turnout. So if you have any questions for me, please call and come out of the library anytime. With that, I'll just thank you. Our relationship.
Well, I do believe we already have in the budget the same amount that we had budgeted years past. And we appreciate what you do. It's very important especially to the children in our county. We have 2 wonderful libraries, and really do serve a good purpose. Not just that, though. We appreciate too that we have things available that people can come in to research for jobs, and so that's a different side of that. But you have a spot for them, and so that's important. We appreciate that too.
Thank you for saying that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Martin.
Good morning, gentlemen. Y'all this morning. I gave y'all some handouts here. And concerns the health plan. We should have a meeting concerning the health plan. Noise issues in this county are not being assessed. I looked at it. So I just requested this be on the agenda sometime in August so we could actually do something about it, talk about it anyway. The noise issues, the health issues. Also got a health plan. We need to do, this is what we need to do to get to where we need to be. And so I've got the health plan here to look at, consider. Medical will need training. I addressed a letter to Dr. Parker, who's our representative on the guy leading the run, I guess, on issues. Deal with the health. So I told him, it looks like we need some critical training on the noise issue in this county. We have some of the people being harmed. And so I just want to let you see the letter that I sent to him. So we have a lot of work to do still. We have a new state attorney general. And so we get her to get rid of the issue that the Attorney General, we sent to the Attorney
The
General.
opinion,
Huh?
we're talking about issue an opinion.
Yes, ma'am. And anyway, so since we have a new Attorney General, who's more likely to do what's best for you, that's possible. Maybe we'll get something done. That's what I have this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Anyone else who would like to speak this morning? Yes.
Is this my turn? Did you find out? I think I was going to be on the
Well,
agenda.
actually, we have you on there as item number 9.
Okay.
But if it's agreeable to everyone, let's go ahead and take it up right now. Is that agreeable?
If that's okay.
We-
I know this is a little unorthodox, but our attorney today was not able to be here because we had to change the meeting. So this is Mr. Whalen on the phone, everybody. Mr. Bonner that you communicated with, and Judge Grant. We're here today because we've had a 15-year battle, and I think you all are aware of the bridge that we're dealing with. And we've been asked at first to identify,
That's a picture of it.
that's a picture of it. We've been asked to, first we had to prove that it was a county bridge. We did that. Then you all left it off of a map and used a different transportation code to say that you didn't have to acknowledge the bridge. We've provided you the same transportation code that says leaving it off the map does not abandon it. So we basically asked for the meeting because we couldn't get anyone to respond to emails or phone calls or anything else. So we're here to find out where the position we are now.
Thank you. Would you like to respond? This is our county attorney.
Hi, how are you? Yes, ma'am. Looking at the map, talking to commissioners, looking in the past, we sent that letter. I think I got a letter back. It seems like we're at a difference of opinion, for lack of a better term. We just don't feel like the county road goes past that bridge based on the map that was adopted in 2011 and going back and looking at the work that was done on that bridge. And so that's our stance in a nutshell. And again, I know there's a difference of
How can that be your, I'm sorry, how can that be your stance when the same statute that you quote specifically says leaving it off the map doesn't abandon it?
Well, that map was established to go back in time and look at the length of a county road, right? I mean, that was the point of adopting that map, is my understanding in 2011. Sending out notices that if anybody had any objection to where that map went to, along with that and the gate across it, not establishing it, but talking about it being a private road or private property past that point that's established before the bridge. Believe me, we've done our due diligence. We've looked at it for years. I think this issue came up pre-me.
It's been coming up for 15 years.
Yeah, I'm about to say, so pre-me with the former county attorney and former commissioner as well before Andy. And again, that in a nutshell, that's our position with what we're looking
All right. You did send a letter stating what the position was of the county, and that is what. Okay, are you saying?
Palmer, can you hear us?
I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
you can.
Yeah. Basically, I think that the county attorney is misreading Section 258. Basically, what Section 258 does is it provides a procedure for persons when the map is posted to claim that a road on the map is actually a private property and a private road. And the mechanism is to allow persons who claim what the county believes is a public road is in fact a private road. The statute does not go in reverse. This is not a statute that is designed to assert claims that the public, or that a road is a public road, and if the county does not put it on the map, it is not a public road. There are other statutes that provide the means to establish public roads, and the citation to section 258, I believe, is not applicable to the question of whether it is or is not a public road. County roads are established by maintenance, dedication, and other meaning. In this case, the public, that the county has on occasion maintained that bridge, and now it is disclaiming any responsibility for the maintenance of the same bridge. If that 258 is not a procedure applicable to the abandonment or to the disclaimer of responsibility once a county road has been established.
I think that's a
And the
legal
statute is
question, is
very
that correct?
explicit. I quoted, I believe, in the letter, basically the statute says the failure to put a road on a map is not an abandonment, and it does not affect the status of the road as a county road.
And looking at Judge, I can look into that further, if the county wants me to
I
see.
believe we have already looked at that
Yes, ma'am.
statute. And he has researched it, he has given you the county's opinion, and you had said you would have to go forward if we didn't change our stance, and I believe we're not going to. So thank you for coming this morning.
Now, when we go forward through the district court of this same county, is that correct?
I believe it is.
And then we'll end up going further and further. But Tom, you ready for this?
I suppose we don't have a choice.
So we're ready too. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we now will go to item number 1, which is to approve the minutes
I'll talk to you later.
of the July 19th regular meeting and the July 10th, 17th, 24th, 27th, and 28th special meetings. Have you had an opportunity to review those?
Judge, I only have July the 10th, 17th, and the 19th. I have not completed the last ones.
24, 27, 28.
Yes.
All right, well, we won't approve those.
We
then.
have three.
We have these first three, yes.
Well, y'all, yes, I'm gonna step out for a minute.
approve minutes from July 19th, July 10th, and July 17th.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed?
Okay, that's it.
And 19.
Yeah, and whichever, yeah, that's
10, 17 now.
10, 17.
19, this was a special day, so we were doing
Oh, yeah, I see.
it. All right. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Item number 2 is budget transfers and amendments. Any discussion on these?
Motion to approve budget transfers.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 3 is to approve and pay the bills. After that, we do have an ARPA expenditure, which is for the current and fire department, for those air packs. Moving right along with that ARPA money.
Could explain the state comptroller to me on page 1 of that tax record, or page 1,
Page 1.
scale 40,000.
I'm not seeing the 40,000 on page 1.
No, then it's back, I think it's back.
Oh, the back.
Yes, ma'am. 1823. Up to page, go sheet, page 1. State
Let
comptroller.
me look, let me see. What you got? That's accounts payable, that is criminal fees to the state.
40,000.
All criminals, yeah. Isn't that correct? It's just criminal fees on that page 1.
The civil fees,
Accounts payable, because of the part of the fines and other, fees that are brought in that have to go to the state.
they're paid quarterly.
Okay.
They're paid quarterly.
Okay.
Those are the revenues that are the fees that all the departments collect. and then I pay them quarterly.
Oh, there it is, I didn't fill that one, so.
There were several ones back there.
There's several ones, I missed that one. They didn't fill this one for road bids. Precinct two.
I think that was supposed to be precinct one, Judge.
I'm sorry,
I think that's supposed to be precinct one. I think I put two,
precinct one,
then he worked range.
Yeah, he's getting.
precinct one. Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
sorry, my bad. I copied it down and it changed it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve both bills. I second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Item number 4 is to approve the payrolls.
With that correction.
With that correction? Well, I didn't know that he worked for Road and Bridge,
I
period.
copied
He
it
was
down
in the
and
sheriff's
changed it.
department.
I
Okay.
changed it.
I'm just curious. Y'all sent one around with your signatures? No.
Haven't seen one. Anything that's starting on.
Oh, okay.
Motion to approve the payroll?
I make a motion to approve the payroll.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 5 is reports. I have a report from the extension office. One for June and one for July. Anyone else have a report? If not, do we have a motion to accept the reports?
Make that motion.
I second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 6, burn bans.
No action.
No action. Item number 7, any road use agreements, permits, bonds? If none, we'll move to that's a no action. We'll move to item number 8, which is to approve bonds and education certificates. I have one, cybersecurity, and that is for Teresa Fable. Now, when did these have to be completed?
But you remember the exact date?
August 31st.
August 31st, so we have this month to finish if you've not done yours. We have a motion to accept the education certificate.
Make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. All right, the next thing then will be budget review. You can go ahead and take yours up before we do budget. Forgot that's on the back page. Thank you so much.
Go away, wrong copy. Good insurance. Sheet away.
Should have went on right into that.
Yeah, we need to do this. Get it out of the way, most.
I guess the only changes on this was because of insurance, is that right?
No, sir. Anything that I've changed, I put in the little yellow down at the bottom. And I put the date, so you'll know what date I made that change. But the insurance did change also, yes.
One thing on that pay scale I don't understand is why our deputy position was taken out of it. We had an open position, and it's been taken completely out of my outfit.
Under deputy.
Yep,
Okay.
Wasn't on the last one either.
right, it was taken out, yeah.
Supplement to the agenda, and it is to discuss supplemental insurance and the 57 plan. Bob, I believe you put that on the agenda, is that right? You didn't request that to be on the agenda? Okay.
When I talked talked to you, Clyde, you said see if we could get it put on the agenda.
Do what now?
When I talked to you on Friday, you said see if I could get Beth to put it on the agenda.
Well, I have some information for it. We had, huh? It's fine.
There's a lot of things happened since last Friday.
I am telling you there is.
And I'm not saying I didn't say.
It's okay. I thought maybe you wanted to discuss it. Let me discuss what I found out.
Okay.
You moved. Okay.
I stood it, grabbed it.
All right. Yesterday I was looking at this and I had not even thought about it till I saw this on here. Thought about it again. And I had called, our broker and asked him, and he said that there was no problem that he saw with any other insurance company coming to open enrollment and being able to do that. He said he didn't see that there was a problem with that. So,
Awesome. I just want to thank you all because I've serviced this account on behalf of Aflac for over 10 years. And I have met so many wonderful people that I consider my friends. And I take such pride in, you know, helping people get money. And every year, like at open enrollment, you for one, I always
every year
encourage and go over, you know, because you forget what you bought, and I want people to utilize what they're paying for. And every year, there are many, many people that discover, oh, I could have filed on that, and we have no time limit. So I just want to thank y'all for the opportunity to continue to serve the employees of Freestone County, and it's been an honor. Y'all are one of my favorite accounts. So I just want to make sure that the enrollment dates that were set a couple of months ago are still the same.
Well, that would be Jeannie.
Well, I've turned it over to Hanco, so.
I haven't heard anything different.
Anything different? Okay.
If
Because
I
I've had
do-
that on my calendar.
If I do, I will
Notify
order
me.
Jeannie.
Why don't you call him this morning and let's firm that up?
Okay.
Because I've got that blocked out on my calendar for
Okay.
those
I will
days.
call
So.
him, okay.
Okay.
And I apologize for not calling you back. It was late whenever he called me. But he said he didn't. He said even, you know, we could still do it through payroll. You just have to have a different line.
So when I had talked to Daniel, that was here on Thursday, and that, as far as I knew, didn't get discussed in the back, and I was telling him open enrollment and giving him the sheet, he said y'all can just continue to use who you had, or something similar to
Yes.
that. And then, but when Brian called me on Friday from Antico, Brian said that they are only gonna sell Sun Life, which was in their packet, which is another supplemental insurance. And so I asked him then, you know, about, and he said that if I understood him right, he said that the employees could, you know, keep Aflac, but they would have to not payroll deduct. But he might have been talking about any new ones going forward. I don't know exactly what he was talking about on that. And so.
But he did say it could be, it could still be, go through
So, but
payroll.
we have done that before. We didn't continue to sell two separate ones, but if they had
Yes.
it, they could continue to use it.
But
But
since we always already use you, if you have somebody that wants something different, we can certainly.
But one of the other things I just wanted to make
It's not a new
sure,
company, because we get too many companies.
yes, and that's what I wanted to make sure that
Yes.
everybody understood too. We're going from paying one company on the county side of TAC, now we have three to pay. We've got to pay a separate one for the health, a dental, and a life. So now we've already took from one vendor to three vendors. And then I don't even know how many yet on the employee side. So,
But once you
something to think
get that
about.
set up, you automatically do that every time.
Well, but we have to touch that payroll file that many times every time. So, to set that up each vendor. You know what I'm saying? Like every employee, we're gonna have to go in and add that in 3 times on every employee.
But not every payroll.
No,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I know it's gonna be a little more work for you right then to set it up, but once it's set up, it will be automatic. Is that right?
for, yes, and until
Yeah.
there's changes or new hires and all that, yeah.
Yes,
All right.
we're still doing August 16th through the 18th for open enrollment.
Okay, all right.
hours like we did.
Does that answer your questions? As far as,
I'm good, Lord, I'm just here to listen.
well, I mean, we had talked on the phone the other day,
Yeah.
and I told him that I thought nothing was gonna change. And it might have been after you had talked to him, we talked. I thought that.
No, I didn't talk to Ryan until late yesterday afternoon,
Okay.
late.
Yeah, because when you get so many different vendors in here, people get so confused.
Right.
And they don't know what companies they have what with, and even just with Aflac as supplemental each year, I mean, it's like re-educating because they
Well, we
forget.
talked
I mean,
yesterday, I told you, I'm not really sure what I have.
they forget, yes, exactly. So,
But anyway, I think that's probably our best thing is the vendors that we already have, that they can go through the payroll because we could change it to a bank draft, but since
they
we
don't
already
get
have it set up.
they don't get it pre-tax that way, and y'all don't get the benefit of not matching their FICA taxes. And there's over 50 employees on Aflac. Like every employee that buys Aflac, they get to have that deducted out of their paycheck before taxes. So therefore,
Not all of that's before taxes, though.
only the life and disability are after tax, but the accident, the cancer, the heart, the hospital. So every employee that participates in that, and they're not paying taxes on those, the county doesn't have to match the 7.65 FICA taxes. So with 50 employees, it's quite a savings for the county on the pre-taxing. So, and.
Okay, so I think we got that resolved.
Okay, perfect,
So
okay.
everybody that's been here before will be able to be here on those days. Is that what I'm hearing?
I thank y'all
To
so
the
much
best
for your
of my
time.
understanding, I will say that. All right, thank you.
I was worried. Yeah, big. I don't know.
But anyway, yes, he said that he was not. Now, we're really going to go into budget. Let's, Billy's here to talk about the ambulance. You have a little handout. Or maybe you don't, but maybe we need to. All right.
Listen to.
Good.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Something else here. Hey,
Ambulance is pretty far down,
so 42.
It's 42.
Number 40. Right.
That's 42.
This is a copy of our budgets. First and foremost, I'd like to thank y'all for everything y'all do. I know this is, for me, it's a stressful time in budget every year. Our budget doesn't fall the same time y'all does. Ours is on calendar year, so it's a little bit. Last year gave us $130,000 supplement us, and we asked for 150. This year we're going to ask for 150 again. I think the biggest thing out of all that, there's statistics in there, run volumes, our complete budget laid out. It is in a draft mode because our board hasn't approved it yet. And they usually get around to approving that in August. Again, our budget's on a calendar year, so this is pretty early for us to come up with some hard figures. With that being said, everything is more expensive. Number one is personnel, and trying to be competitive with all the services around us. There's several around us that pay more than we do per hour. And we've done our best to keep up with that, to retain the people that we have. With that said, we have a very high retainment on our personnel side. And as y'all talk about benefits and insurance, that's an expense that goes up every year. It's gone up about 25% the last 2 years for us. So I don't expect much different going forward. All those costs, fuel, supplies, everything just goes up a little bit. So, and it's reflected here in the budget. I think the biggest thing is to look at our balance sheet, our bank account.
donate?
150.
150.
And the hospital district has donated $50,000 for the last several years towards capital expenses, medical equipment, stuff like that. Cardiac monitors cost about $45,000. And we have 3 of them.
You've got two ambulances.
We do. 3 at times. We have 3 ambulances.
It's all staff too.
We staff.
Hopefully we'll
Three
be
at
getting a
times.
new one
And 3 at
one of
times.
these days.
December, January.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Any questions? I think they're reviewing that. We'll talk about it here in a minute.
Well, if y'all have any questions, anytime, I'm always ready.
On the map, the greenish color is Fairfield and the bluish is Teague.
Great.
And you know, we do use Mahia for the Wortham area because of the distance and the time to reach that area. And I read it, notes to the budget explaining some of that, I just haven't got that far back. Thank you. See, the addition of a command vehicle, what does a command vehicle do?
That's the unit we've been talking about, trying to obtain, getting a used vehicle.
I knew we talked about it a little bit, but
Yeah, and it's just, that some of those expenses were supplemented in there to, prepare for that.
is that used instead of using travel that you would have to pay out?
It would take some of that away, yes.
Billy, on that cost per call, and then you adjust the cost per call?
Do we adjust the cost for?
Well, it says it adjusted cost per call, and it don't.
And what's the question, sir? I'm sorry.
A cost per call is $868 and a dime.
And then you have to make adjustments for your bad debt, and that's the adjustments. The bad debt, the discounts that we have to, the reductions we have to take from insurance companies, that there's an adjustment for that. There's also an adjustment for depreciation, which I don't count in there. And that just, it's not a set figure, but it tells us that we're billing the right amount to recover our expenses. And that's the balance.
Okay.
Those two numbers need to be close. The problem is that on the billing side, we're not gonna collect all that because Medicare only reimburses 60% of theirs. And then Medicaid only reimburses about 40% of theirs. So that's more of a reduction on that side. That just gives you an idea. If we were collecting what we billed, that's what the bill would be versus what our cost is.
Okay.
And we can make adjustments to our rates with that, but if you look at the figures over the last 2 years, we've adjusted our rates twice for inflation, but we have bigger write-offs for discounts and bad debt. It just, we can raise it all we want. Medicare's only, they're set to pay a certain amount. And if we raise our rate, we have to discount or reduce it that much more.
Rick talks about total dispatch and communication. Is that like those radios and stuff?
That's cell phones, any kind of radios, any kind of communication stuff.
What kind of healthcare do y'all have for your employees?
We use a broker through it's called VFIS, Volunteer Fire Insurance Company. They do a lot of nonprofits and volunteer fire service. I think y'all participate with the volunteer fireman coverage. We use them and they use a broker. We broker that every year. Right now it's Blue Cross. I mean, we're in the same position y'all are in. We got 3 different vendors, 4 different vendors that we got to supplemental insurances. We do all that also.
In the budget, that's what we had done last year.
What the main key?
I make a motion we approve that.
I'm sorry?
So I make a motion we approve the list.
There.
All in favor, aye. request. Here, do you want to make a note on 690, 334, change that to 150,000. What's that? Talking about the voter rate, or actually the tax rate, the voter approval rate in the budget is 0.32. I had already finished the budget before we talked about what the proposed amount was gonna be. And what the voter approval rate is 0.3219, is that right? Isn't that right?
Stretches out a little further than that, but that's what y'all
It was-
proposed.
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 Proposed. So that's why it was only the 0.32 in the budget, because I've already done that before we set the approval rate. Do we want to leave it at the 0.32, or do we want to change it to 0.3219? We don't have to go up to the point. Well, when we set the rate, just think about that. We can leave it or at the 3.2, or we can change it to the 3.219. We'll be setting that rate on the 16th.
There's no problem with us raising it to 3219, correct?
This means changing
I mean, we'll,
figures on the,
How's our money working out? I mean, this, because we've got these additions coming in after you already kind of puts all this together.
well, we
Just
do,
curious how-
we do, as long as it's not a big thing,
Yeah.
we do have enough money in the contingency that we could move a little around and it still stay like this.
Would you say that?
between the 3219 and the 32 is $67,620.30. That's what we figured yesterday.
We figured it out.
If we figured it right.
So, but we do have funds that we can do a little bit with.
Let's hold off on maintenance.
Yeah,
I
let's
think
do
so
it.
too, yeah. But that's the reason, Clyde had asked, why did I do that? Because we did the budget before that, so we could have something to look at, be sure.
Well, what's in the paper shows the 3.219.
That's what we posted.
That is the proposed rate.
Yeah.
That's just proposed, and we can come down from that when we set it, we just can't go up, because we have to be posted again. But in this budget, it's 0.32, and that says on the bottom. So that's kind of two different things. All right, we discussed.
We have to reprint another one of these, because
Well, I know, but we have that starting place, and because we always want to know where are we, and, you know. We could each get a tablet, and then we could have it on there, and we wouldn't have to print all this, if y'all would like to do that. What do you say? It's expensive to come into the new century, technology-wise, but we can surely do that, because we have it on the computer. So just keep printing them, okay?
Tap on it, right, everything.
Yeah. I mean, like an iPad or a small, oh, I didn't mean a pad like your daddy used to talk about it.
Not a big cheap tablet.
Big cheap tablet,
Yeah.
pencil.
I was still talking about one of them pads.
That's what I figured out, all right. We had discussed air evac. We do not have that in the budget. I think some of you were gonna look at some things, and then we would come back and decide if the county was going to pay for that for every year.
it's $60. Now what we say?
I thought it was
Well, it's 75.
What are we talking about, finding out more information on what the new insurance offered?
There is something in that new insurance.
Yeah, it covers it. Even outside.
It was more than just one service, wasn't it?
Right, it covers that every outside.
Yes, it covered,
Well, I understood.
ground ambulance service, it covered,
Here.
it covered, air, and then some other things in there.
Judge, you familiar with the air evac?
I have.
With their plans
I have
right now?
membership, yes, sir. I have a personal one with my family.
Right, well, and I do too.
I think a lot of us do.
I was just wondering what your opinion would be of basic compared to what this offer is that Will's looking up
Would you
at.
come look at this?
I gotta find it.
We gotta find it first.
In the back.
Yeah.
Just be patient, be patient.
We were looking as a county doing it for our employees. And of course, we've been air
There's a lot of
evac twice.
stuff. Yeah, we saw it.
It's offered us something that we've never seen before.
Maybe it's,
Well,
oh, here we go, right here.
okay.
It's
And you have
it's
several
up
options.
closer to the front. Yeah, that's what it, the short dots is what you got. I mean, not the platinum.
Yeah, you can take either one, but somebody
If you find some mess, they don't cook. What says it's
Well,
wrong?
I don't know, read that last sentence after I, when I read this last sentence, it was a little, no, this is not everything. Read that, and then it comes down to this other sentence that says that it does seem wrong before.
I don't understand the last.
It is confusing. And your cushion. I thought you were confused.
If I hear that, was it?
But I don't know if a member is flown on another aircraft. See, I don't understand what that means. I don't know.
It sounds like you have to use the Air Medicare network in order to benefit from this plan.
Well, it kind of said that, but then the last sentence
Contradicts, something's,
contradicted
it's
it a
just
little bit.
very,
This is network, but carrier comparison to current.
This is fair.
So like Air Medicare network is the one that provides the helicopter that would have to provide the flight. If the member's flown by other helicopter besides that one, aircraft or by ground ambulance, they do with ground ambulance, they would have no coverage. Because you have to be a member of
and
that.
then the last sentence.
Well, but that's if we did that.
As with Madison, the provider, they provide coverage. I don't know what this-
Any company.
any company provides.
See, that just throws a curve to what that sentence before.
It looks like if they had to use another one, that last sentence looks like that, then if they had to use a different one, then they would reimburse them, they would pay them.
Yeah, it's telling you what it is without it, and it's telling you what it is with it, that they would cover anybody. I don't know what the rates are, or what the reimbursements would be. Well, with the way insurance is going with the non-balanced billing, a lot of that's on the hospitals and stuff right now, but for emergency care, but it actually hit helicopters, but it hasn't hit ground ambulances yet. So we're still able to balance bill patients. Personally, but other services can make the difference of saying you owe all of it. But yeah, that's gonna change this year.
Well, I'm just as confused as I was before.
Yeah, it sounds like if you're stuck with the carrier comparison, if they're comparing Air Med, that you would have to use their service and their helicopter and their ground ambulance to benefit. But this one sounds like it will cover anybody that.
That's the way it was kind of explained to us the other day.
So
Because we asked specifically about Tyler, if they had to come in, you know,
Right.
and he said it, you know.
But after I read that, it
Yeah, I know
didn't
that one
seem.
sentence threw me a curve.
Yeah, I think they're just comparing the two. They're saying it would cover their plan.
Okay.
Everything. Now, it's your choice whether you want to buy it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is covered 100%. We suggest that was already. My next
Made us feel better that you were reading it like we thought we were reading it. Well, most people, or a large majority probably of the employees already have that service here, evac. So if it would cover their family, but
Air evac is, there's benefits to the membership plans that they have. We offer a membership plan also. We're restricted to our service area. Helicopters are a little bit different. But you never know if you're gonna get transported by which helicopter, even in this county. I know we have one right here, but, you know, that's one helicopter that's servicing a large service area. And that may not be here. Now, they can send the next closest one, but that may not benefit you or the situation you're in.
So if your membership is with Air Evac and that one's busy and you get hurt, and they send one from Tyler,
care flight.
We would not cover that.
it would not, Airvac's not gonna hit you in that one.
Really?
But now
That's-
it's
that's-
another
that's
area
what I
back.
like.
That was the main deal we were-
It's another company, right?
It's another service. So the ones that service our area right now, you have Air Methods, which is out of Waco. You have PHI, which is out of Corsicana. You have Christus Helicopter in Palestine. You also have Athens, occasionally Athens Helicopter, which is UT Health.
One in
You have
Crockett.
Air Evac.
One in Crockett.
Air Evac's got one.
Air Evac
Oh, okay.
does
That's
ground
what I
and
was-
ambulance there.
So if we have 5 or 6 that could service our area, we wouldn't have to pay. It's only if they all are busy.
No,
You
he's
would,
saying,
you would, all those helicopters are different companies. The only
Air
one that
Evac does
covered
not.
would be Air Evac. Air Evac membership.
Air evac's gone to Waco, and then you have to call somebody from somewhere
One of
else.
those other
Or
services.
those other ones, you have to pay for that.
You're out.
It's just that they're not busy when it's your time.
So this, what I'm
Time to
asking
go.
is this plan right here, is it better than that?
In my opinion, it covers them all.
Yeah.
And they probably negotiate prices, right? So when you buy a membership like that, they're negotiating a reimbursement price with the service that they have. And to me, that would be beneficial, yes. Because it would cover.
Okay,
And
maybe.
there's instances where we're calling ourselves Frisco County, but I just said, Daddy, went to Waco, they couldn't handle it. They care about him St. Louis. I mean, you're in Waco, you're not gonna get area back, but, I mean, you know, so there's other instances. We're looking at it like we're, you know, if you get in the hospital off somewhere and they can't handle it, you don't know who you're gonna get. If they have to
They don't
take
pay
you
for
to.
that either.
Yeah.
I said we double check, get
Yeah, we need to
We could always,
both companies.
we could always, if we choose to do that, we probably need into our insurance person.
You need to send something in writing. that
Read that
says,
and explain
this is what it
that.
costs per employee,
Yeah, because he,
This is what it's-
verbally, he told us it was covered.
if he would email that to us.
Most insurances cover, I say most, so most insurances cover ground ambulance, emergency transport, and air medical. Now, there's some, you know, if you're 20%, if a bill's $20,000, more than that, if a bill's $40,000 for an air flight, and you're 20% of that, I mean, you gotta think about that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
We have-
membership's what benefits that, right, because you don't have that gap, it's almost like a gap insurance, I don't have to worry about that bill.
How much is the ambulance, the ground?
Our average bill was
872 or something.
68 or something.
Yeah. You talking about
No, I'm talking about the subscription that you can take for that.
$60 for single, 75 per family. And if we picked up somebody that had an ambulance membership from another service somewhere else, and I can verify that, we honor other membership. And we've always done
That's
that.
ground.
Yes, around, yes, around.
Yeah.
75 per family per year.
60 for the same.
Judge, as an insurance guy, can I make a comment about this? The example that this gentleman used over here about the $40,000 for the evac helicopter and all that stuff, the 20% be close to what, $17,000? Close to be what your 20% would be, your co-insurance is what we call it. So if you've got an 80-20 plan, insurance pays 80, you pay 20. That starts after the deductible. So the employee would have to pay all the deductible first, and then the 20% on top of that, if they don't have anything. So it is very important.
That we have now, but the one that we are gonna have beginning in October, I don't really know exactly how to explain it, but we will have nothing out of pocket.
Okay.
Nothing out of pocket, so.
No deductible,
No,
no co-pays.
well, what would be a deductible or copay is covered by another little insurance policy.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all got a medical bridge kind of a deal?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So don't get sick anybody before October. Okay. All right, so we will not address that right now. We have talked about some old vehicles that we have. Are we going to replace any of those? I know the sheriff is going to be getting vehicles maybe out of that money, that $350,000. But talking about other vehicles, we do have a few trucks that are old.
But I think we need to talk, we have, you and I have, I think we need to talk about an IT person. We can.
Okay. What do you think about the trucks? Nothing else. Then we'll go to IT.
Which trucks are we talking about?
Yeah.
Steve's,
Steve's.
it's been a good bit of
We
money.
put a new motor in last year.
Repairs.
Yeah, I don't think it's well, instead of, if they got another motor last year, maybe we can get another year.
I didn't agree with guarantee.
Okay.
No matter.
We'll go on to the next thing. Are you talking about getting an on-site IT person?
Yeah. Yeah.
What would one cost us, anybody know?
I don't know, maybe $60,000 a year or more. Then you add the.
You get one fix, you ain't got one, right?
Maybe 100. Now you add insurance and benefits and all of that.
I walk in some of these offices, a lot of times, computers didn't come on in the morning, or something wrong, or camera's not working, or, then every day in the paper, somebody's hacked something, or ransom, whatever. I know Dallas County, they couldn't even hold court for 3 weeks, any kind of court.
And how many IT people do you think they have?
I don't know.
I'm sure they have a ton of them.
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of support do y'all have with y'all's different systems? Tech support, where you're
Just if we have problems with the software.
Yeah, the software.
If I may, insight on that. In Leon County, when I was working down there, we didn't have an IT person on staff, but we had contracted with a company at a College Station called Tech Bundle. And essentially, whenever we had some sort of problem, they were able to remote into any of our computers, fix it. You know, they took care of all the software and hardware updates and did anything like that. So it wasn't so much as having someone working for the county full-time doing insurance and all
They didn't have
that.
benefits.
I didn't know.
They didn't have benefits.
And that's what we do now. We have BizPro Tech.
We have that now, but all the little other things that they don't handle for us. I mean, there's numerous little things that they don't handle for us, like the door locking system, when we deal with the phone company, put a new phone system in, that's gonna come up in 2025, that y'all, you know, our contract's only through there, and then they're saying that a new phone, a different phone system's gonna have to be got. So you've got that coming up, that you can't wait till 2025 to do that. You're gonna have to go ahead and have somebody on the ground figuring out what needs to happen before then, so.
I think if you were gonna look at it, I think the best is having it, if that's what y'all wanted to do, having someone on site, because you want somebody to meet, working for the county, that there's so many of us that we need a computer, our computer's broke down, it's got a virus, it's this, it's that, and so many of the different departments, they get a new one, their printer breaks down, well, it's cheaper to go buy one than to fix it, whereas if we did have someone on site, you know, as far as them fixing the printer, you know, I've got two in my office, and I probably wouldn't have had to spend the money on one, but it's just that we go buy new, and we buy more than what we need if we had someone that was on site, that was working for us, that was trying to help save us money instead of going out and making money on what they sell us.
But the other side of that is, like a printer. All right, most printers are about $300. So you have to balance out, in the long run, if we bought one when they could have fixed it, I mean, that's a long salary for.
$800, $600 to $800.
Well, the only thing is, with
One's
that,
$300, $300.
they gotta be compatible with our software. So I called our IT person with that, and I talked to him, and he picked me out a printer that would be applicable with the software. But at the same time, they don't go back and look at the toners. Well, this toner that I'm having is like $300 every month and a half to 2 months, and I print a lot, so it's somebody that would actually work for the county, that would have the county's interest. I'm not saying Kerry doesn't, he does a good job, but that would help kind of save us money in that way. But that's just my.
I understand, we do have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
That is a lot of money.
I do think it would save and benefit the county over the long run, though, and saving money, like she's talking about that, and also different departments buying. If I need a new computer and I just go out and look up and think I know what I need, I may pay, you know, I think some have paid upwards of almost $3,000 for a computer, and some have paid, you know, $1,200 for a computer. I think if you had a person that did all that for you, they would know, you know, the difference of just individual offices not knowing what to buy.
It's the time it takes out of your office, your personnel's time, trying to fix this stuff constantly.
A lot.
I mean, one day I spent 2 days on the phone with IT, trying to get them. Of course, I could have already bought new by the time we paid for it. So,
What county do we know that has an IT person? Any our size or?
Anderson County has their own IT department. It may be also worth looking at, TIG and Fairfield, all the school districts have like an IT guy. It's maybe worth comparing what they're paying and that kind of stuff too. I feel like that would be comparable, amount of work you have to do.
We'll look into that.
Just one other thing on that, Judge, I know I've said that already, but it wouldn't just be fixing computers and that kind of thing. It would also be running our door locking system, cameras, phones. I mean, they would be in charge of all that. So I don't think it's a situation where you would have somebody sitting twiddling their thumbs. I think it would be a.
Well, there's always computer cleanings that need to be done. I mean, there's always something that can be done on these computers to keep them operating at a high level that's not getting done at this point. You know, we do it at the end when it finally shuts down, you know, but.
Yeah, I had trouble with mine.
All right.
Yeah.
And I also think one other thing to go with that is if people know that people are coming, there's gonna be an IT person coming around looking at the computers, it keeps people more, you know, of what they're being careful about, what they're doing on their day-to-day, because you can look at all that stuff, and you can see what the history is.
I know we've had that problem before, because we had people, and Kerry didn't look at that, and he could see who was watching Netflix and stuff on their computer, and that was what was kicking us off the network.
Well, I had an issue in my office at one time too with that, and so.
Okay, well, I'll get some, see if I can get some,
Thank y'all for even considering that, that's a big thing.
You know, those people where I worked at before, they could work on stuff. I mean, they could take one part off one computer and put it on another one and do all that
And
stuff.
they can
can-
order parts when something goes bad. Instead of buying a new computer, you can order a processor, you can order more memory, you can order a fan,
No, I've redone it over time.
but we're not gonna be able to do that.
They could also sit in there, they could sit in their room, in their office, and go into anybody's computer and fix it from their office.
It's safe, but
You'd have to let them know, you know, what kind of problems you're having. They just come in there, and next thing you know, they're working, you see the little arrows going
they're
everywhere.
gonna get rid of it. So they're gonna get rid of it.
Okay.
you wanna talk about yours?
Yes. I have a full-time employee, Jamie Myers. She's my lowest paid employee. And we have been paying for her out of these special funds, my preservation. I'm asking that we move her over to the general fund where my full-time employees are. She makes 30, well, with our new salary and all, it's $31,300, which is $15.05 an hour. If we could move her over to the general fund, that would help free up my special funds. So we have records from 1959 all the way back to sovereignty that are not online. And that's one of my goals, is with the special funds to get those records online. Once they're online, we can do away with our copy center. We won't have copy requests because people can download those things from home, or they can come in and use our terminals. And if we could free up the special funds, move Jamie over to the general fund with the other employees, that's what I'm requesting.
Do you have enough funds in the archive to do a special project that you wanted to do?
No, I'm going
How
to,
much will that be?
for the project was gonna be roughly $45,000. I found a company called Terralogic that, will scan 100 books at a time, and we have about 300 left to get all our deed records in. But over a 3-year period, if we did 100 books, they charge $35,000. That's to scan them, that's to index them, and that's to put in the land description, because that costs more.
Now, that's the whole project.
That with them, but then CoFile will charge 20 cents per document to upload it into their system. And I talked to
That
CoFile.
will be over a 3-year period?
Well, the 45 would be 1 year, and then the next year would do the next 100 books, and then the next year, but over a 3-year period, we could get all of our deed records in. Then I have, the deed of trust, the mechanics lien, power of attorney, which is less than 100 books. So in a 4-year period, we could get it all in there and online. but you have to do it in segments because it costs. But, okay, so compare CoFile scanned in roughly 100 books, that contract that was done a couple of years ago. They charged us $150,000 versus this company and CoFile downloading, we can get it for about $45. So what that costs, we can get the rest of them, you know, for the $150.
How long does it take to do this? Each 100?
The representative told me it would take about 8 or 9 months to do that. But
The profile deal's still not paid off right now, right?
no, we owe, each year, for 3 years, we budget $53,000. And that started in January of '22. So we paid, you know, that's a partial year, say 9 months on that budget. This year, a whole year, and then this new budget year, we have 1 whole year, and then we'll have about 3 months into the next year. So we have $53,000 budgeted in, I budgeted in the archive, and that takes care of that whole fund. So I was willing to cancel this project and do it next year. Let's get this bill paid for, get that taken care of, get it behind us, and then we'll move forward with that. Yes, ma'am.
Is Jamie's insurance coming out of preservation as well, or just?
Everything on her was coming out of preservation.
If we left it in there, we would need to transfer some money in to cover those expenses.
And Lloyd, the way that works, the insurance is tied to the line item that I put in for the payroll person, so, you know, if that's the only line item in there for her, it has to come out of that. I don't
Okay,
have
that's
it.
what I was just making sure, but I see you
Now, if you have
decide.
multiple line items, then I can adjust that, but if it's just one line item, the insurance is tied to that line item.
I have
Just so you know.
a part-time Glenna that I have, which with that going up to $15 an hour, it's $22,620 for my part-time person. I actually we've had 2 part-times budgeted just in case, you know, it gets real busy. Business has picked up, we're making it, you know, right now. But I know in the past, it was so busy with oil and gas. I've held off on filling that part-time position just because I don't want to spend that money, because it was coming out of archive. And I've been trying to free up that archive fund, so, but salaries, you know, can come out of that preservation. I sat down with Karen and we just put like 15,000 on that second part-time. And I'm trying not to hire somebody there, but if I do, it would have to be, that person would have to know it's a temporary part-time and it'd be like maybe 2 days a week. You can walk down there might be 2 people in there, but this afternoon there might be 15. I mean, that's how it's been. I know our online sales, the revenue we get from CoFile, where people are at home and download documents, that has multiplied 5 times. It was, last year, we made $8,000 off of it. This year we were close to 40.
Plus, people that use that don't come into the office.
Right, they don't have to come in.
What's the split on that with the county?
It's 50, we make 50 cents on the dollar.
50 cents.
And what we've decided, I haven't presented the CoFile contract, I think we're gonna put it on the agenda for the 16th. They've lowered our bill, and we're adding a $2 service charge for every transaction, and we'll split that. We'll get $1 off of, I mean, that's not a whole lot of money,
So that'll be
but
added too when you print something online.
Yes.
That'll be a-
that'd be part of the revenue. And that's part of our bill. We get a bill, they subtract the revenue. That's why, you know, when we're looking at that, the other day, we were looking, it's like we spent $12,000, but they're billing us $5,100 for their service.
Right.
And that's money we've made, so really, we're not paying what it looks like, but we have to budget for the full amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do that with a lot of other things where we get a reimbursement later and it
Yeah.
goes into the revenue rather than offsetting that.
But yeah, that's what I'm asking for. If we could move, Jamie's position, over into the general fund. It would give us some relief, and before we can get this thing paid for, and maybe get a few projects under our belt, or get going with it, it would help tremendously.
All righty. Let's take a short break and then we'll come back and address that.
Okay.
All right.